Ironsight is a free-to-play shooter that was released the first time in 2018, but Area Games / Gamigo announced that their version of the free-to-play FPS game would shut down on August 2020. So a new version of the game went live on Steam through its developer Whipple Games, and that's how I'm playing it right now, meaning on Steam. I was there from the start, and I've after that been playing Ironsight a bit back and forth alongside with other FPS games. I went back to play some Ironsight again, and I also made a live stream playing Ironsight recently, since the game reminds me of older Call of Duty games to a certain extent at least. Since the Modern Warfare 3 beta was over last weekend and the upcoming free-to-play X-Defiant FPS by Ubisoft is delayed, a game that also has similarities with older COD games, I felt that I wanted to play a basic kind of boots-on-the-ground experience in between here at least, so I therefore downloaded Ironsight once more. Ironsight is a FPS title that never really got that popular, and there's reasons for that. The player count has almost been cut in half since the same time last year, meaning the fall of 2022, now being down to around 260 players on average. I guess that's such a low number that some people would consider the game to be dead. But people are still playing, and I had no problems getting into games living in the EU, full lobbies most of the time. There's supposed to be some development going on in the game still, although I can't really tell. I don't see a lot of new stuff when it comes to, for example, new maps. Maybe there's new skins instead in the shop to be found. Ironsight offers pretty good gameplay and has quite a lot of cool guns to look into, decent map design and game modes that you are most likely familiar with if you've played similar shooters. I'm not getting too much into detail here since I've done videos before talking about Ironsight, so I thought we'd move on and talk about something that may not be on the good side of things. That's also up to you to decide if you play the game, and that's cheaters. Yes, there's also cheaters in the title such as Ironsight, even though there's an anti-cheat system in the game. Are there many, or are they only a few? That's hard to tell, since I haven't discovered any blatant or obvious cheaters when playing myself. But again, I don't play the game on a regular basis, so it's therefore harder to tell for me. But I do believe that I encounter one or two cheaters during my recording sessions of the gameplay you're watching in the background. But it's important to say though that sometimes judging someone just by watching the final kill cam or highlight replay at the end of the match in Ironsight might be a bad idea. That kind of replay is known to be a bad representation of reality, you might say. Add to that some players also that might have a bad connection and therefore desync, and it might be even harder to tell. And not to forget, some players that has now played the game for many hours have an advantage because they know the maps really well. They have good map knowledge, listening also carefully to the footsteps of the enemies, and therefore can predict player movement, and they can be insanely accurate. All this together can make it harder to spot a cheater. This is where I would like to hear from some of you guys that have been playing Ironsight for some time now, or experienced cheaters in the game. What's your take on this? When it comes to one other thing that I suppose have to be reckoned as a good thing in Ironsight is the fact that it doesn't seem to be a pay-to-win game in any means. What I can see is cosmetics, meaning skins and cool-looking character upgrades available. If that's the case, it's great, since at the same time when Ironsight was released, the first time, some games and developers were still making the mistake of giving players advantages by putting certain items or guns that gave you an advantage in the game behind paid walls. One thing that I wish was possible to do, but I guess it might be too late now or technically too hard or expensive to pull off now since the game has already been out for some years, is to also release it on consoles. Ironsight is only available on PC, but releasing it on consoles and also making it crossplay would most likely give Ironsight a well-deserved rebirth. Let me know your thoughts about this. I still play these older free-to-play shooters now and then, such as Ironsight, and I enjoy it, and it also gives me a break from playing other games that might be more taxing, you might say. I therefore hope that also Ironsight will be able to stick around for at least a few more years to come. Do you believe that it can survive in this tough competition out there when it comes to other games and upcoming titles as well? And if so, what do you believe needs to be done when it comes to the future of a free-to-play shooter such as Ironsight? It might be a tricky question to answer since I don't know what plans Whipple Games has for Ironsight. Maybe they are already okay with the situation as it is, or maybe they're already focusing on other games in their catalog. Not sure either if they're making enough money out of Ironsight to get a strong incentive to continue to bring new content into the game. The future will tell, and I guess also you guys watching might have an idea or two as well, what you think about this. So as always, let me know your thoughts and maybe experiences when it comes to Ironsight in the comments, since I do enjoy to read them and I also try to answer. With that said, thanks a lot for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit that like button and consider to subscribe to my channel with that bell icon engaged as well, so you don't miss out when I'm posting more FPS content here on my channel. With that said, have a great day and game on!